So thanks for coming. Good morning. My name is Frank Young, and I am with Flexera Corporation. So on behalf of Flexera and AFCEA, I'd like to introduce you to Jennifer and Lynn.
Oh, Jennifer and Lynn.
Twins, Jennifer Jeans and Lynn. Thank you. The speakers for this morning's sessions on an introduction to government-wide acquisition contracts, GWACs, which was already mentioned, and the IT Schedule 70. So I went through your slide deck. I know you're going to be talking about the who, the what, and the why, and then also what's new with the GWAC. So they'll be talking about 8A STARS, VETS2, as well as Alliant 2, and then we'll get into the GSA Schedule 70 between the two of them. So a lot of experience in the room, guys. I've been doing this a long time. Jennifer joined GSA in 2009, currently the Alliant 2 contracting officer or COR.
Core.
The core with Federal Acquisition Service, Enterprise GWAC. So she's the Alliance 2 core, and it's a 50 billion information technology GWAC, so there's a lot of experience in the room. Lynn joined GSA in 2001 as an IT account manager for GSA IT, Category Customer Engagement Division. So you've got the privilege of doing Navy, Army, USDA, SSA, and other DoD accounts. So, and she's assigned to support the GWAC Alliant program as well. So just real quick on Flexera. So we provide the Gartner Magic Quadrant leading capabilities for software asset management, both on-prem and in the cloud. So it's my privilege to give you Jennifer and Lynn for this morning's session. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Want to start?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hopefully, I know they're going to make an announcement up on the exhibit hall that we got moved into here, because I know there was a mix-up, but we may have some people joining us in case we might see the door open here in a little bit with other people. Anyhow, we're here to provide you the overview, just an introduction of all our GWACs. How many of you know what a GWAC is?
Or are familiar
with it? All right.
Okay.
How many of you are industry vendors?
Okay, and the rest are customers, okay?
The rest are from our government. I want to see all right, let's see. All right, just wanted to get an idea of the audience and so forth.
Dale?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Dale already
He kind of did an
already
introduction.
introduced himself, right?
Yeah, just Dale Terry. If there's a bread and butter on that, we'll still get some time. So if you're not on a contract, you're not on a schedule, and you need assistance with getting on a schedule, or have questions on anything outside of GSA,
It's not advancing.
GSA outside of this, you say, hey, I'm not
Maybe
on
you
a
can
schedule,
just
I
use
need
this.
help getting on that.
It's not doing it.
That's right.
Oh, it's not.
Well, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. It's not advancing.
Try that one.
I did. Come on, moving up.
Oh, there, it did.
It did? No, it didn't.
You're not getting much of a technical with me either.
Nope.
Can you just do enter?
It's locked up.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You can't enter it, right?
Yeah, we can't even escape out of it.
I'm trying.
Oh, you just did that.
Just this button.
All right.
Was it working out?
Yeah, now it's working. All right.
So don't ask me what I did, but I'll
you
take credit.
You did something. You did something. Go ahead.
All right. So, who we are? We basically have, for the GWAC program, we have two different offices. We have one in San Diego, which handles the Alliant 2 GWAC, and that's where I'm from. And then we have the Small Business GWAC Acquisition Division, which is out in Kansas City, and they handle STARS 2 as well as VETS2. And towards the latter of the slide, you'll have contact information and so forth as well.
Okay, all right, so what is a GWAC? So GWAC is pretty much a government-wide acquisition contract, right? And what's important to remember, important to know, is GWAC is for information technology. So it's established by one agency for government-wide use. Now, GSA was designated by OMB a specific statutory authority to operate a GWAC. And so it is pursuant to the Clinger-Cohen Act, and because of that authority, it is not subject for Economy Act. So, so why use GWAC? All right, for its speed and cost. The contracts are already fully competed, so that means you don't have to start from scratch. So, and because of that, you don't have to start from scratch. Your procurement lead time is drastically reduced. It's flexible. Now, flexibility means the agencies can use it directly, and you can issue the task order against it, or you can use our GSA assisted acquisition, and we will issue the task order on your behalf. Wide range of contract types. That means it encompasses all contract types. You got the firm fixed price, time and materials, cost reimbursement, and labor hours. Low fee, and when we say low fee, there is a contract access fee of 0.75% of the invoiced amount of the contractor's performance. Okay. It is available anywhere in the world. You got access to the highly qualified industry partners, and they have undergone a stringent selection process. Okay, and they offer you the innovative technology solutions for the federal agencies. Socioeconomic credit. Now, our small business GWACs, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. It will provide you the small business credit to help meet your socioeconomic goals. We have limited protestability, and that is authorized only for under $10 million. Okay, unless, of course, if you increase the scope, the period of performance, or the maximum value of the GWAC. We do our GWACs are all best in class. Okay, and that was designated by the OMB.
So GWAC program responsibilities. So we advise our customers and contractors on proper use of our GWACs. One of the things that we do, we conduct DPA training, Delegation Procurement Authority training. We issue DPAs to our ordering contracting officers. When it comes to the training, we offer webinars twice a month for our GWACs, and you can find that through our gsa.gov/events page, and you'll be able to pick out, you can register through that and look at the dates that we offer and so forth. We conduct outreach and education. We're here, so that's part of our outreach. We try and we're always meeting with our customers and so forth, different agencies. If you want training provided and you have a staff that you want us to head out and provide, we can provide this type of training. We can conduct DPA training face-to-face time there. So certainly you can reach out to us and we can do that. We do meet with our contractors. For the Alliant 2, we meet with our contractors each month, once a month, as well as we conduct program meetings that we do biannually right now. But we collaborate with our industry partners. That's one of the things that made Alliant 1 very successful, that we also continued on with the Alliant 2 GWAC. We maintain resources on GWAC websites. So if you go on any of our GWAC websites through gsa.gov, there's a world of information out there provided in case you want a list of our industry partners that you may want to consider teaming up with. That list is out there available for download. We have our resources out there. We've got our ordering guide, our contracts, everything is out there that you'll be able to download as well. Perform risk mitigation and contractor oversight. One of the things that we do conduct pre-award scope reviews upon request is optional. Again, on our website within our GWACs, you be able to go through those links to learn more, and we'll get to it in another slide about the scope reviews that we provide. And one of the things when it comes to the scope reviews at the end, you get a letter, whether if it's within scope of our contract, that's something you'll be able to put in your file for that you've done your market research and so forth. And
Yeah,
your folder.
it's important to have that for, I'm sure, to some of you, because that is used for your market research, and that's something that you can justify as to what the vehicles that you want to use.
So the next bullet, monitor subcontracting at the basic contract level, and that's something that on the Alliant 2 that we do at the contract level, is that we monitor, making sure our industry partners are required to meet a certain goal. 50% of their overall should be, they should be teaming up with our small businesses. So that's why I mentioned teaming up. You're a small business, and you want to be involved and so forth. You're always welcome to contact any of our, under Alliant 2, the 53 vendors, and team up with them. If you have some capability, something unique, definitely you want to reach out to them, since they're required to meet those certain goals. And we report annually to OMB. Let's see, did I miss anything else? No. The next slide. Yes.
So on the previous slide there, where you're talking about risk mitigation and that, are you read into this DoD initiative, with capability and security models?
And capability for
CMMC?
The credentials, you mean?
Apparently their DoD is at least moving forward with the pre-qualification. They'll know, are you capable of bidding on an RFP? Or, in this case, is your GSA contract capable of delivering to the DoD? So I'm guessing those lines there.
Sure. Well, we're capable of delivering to the DoD.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, it's on through a little. Is this recent?
Is this, yeah.
Are you speaking of the cybersecurity maturity model certification that DoD is coming out with?
Yeah.
So is it that, are we talking about the certain certifications?
Yeah.
Like the ISO and CMMI?
Along those lines, but it's new, and it's a cybersecurity certification requirement.
Yeah.
It's going to be put in all contracts.
Yeah. And we actually, we'll go over it actually one of our small business does have that particular credentials that vendors are able to, to provide that to you, assuming that that's what you requested. So you might be able to, the one that we are going to be talking about later on with like the 8A stars might answer your question on the certain credentials. How's that? Yeah.
It's a credential that nobody has yet, because DoD is just standing up this maturity model, but all contracts are going to have to all DoD contracts are going to have to specify a certain level that's going to be required.
And see, that's the thing, and we'll go over because we're just going over what GWAC really is, but on Alliant 2, for those of you who knows Alliant 2, if you specify that directly and state it into your statement of work, those, because it's important for you to state that of what you need, and our industry partners, they're really the premier, and they would have those credentials, and only those people who has credentials, all those vendors that has credentials, will be providing you that proposal or input. Okay? Does that answer your questions? No? Yes? Maybe?
If they're working, if it's something new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, well, thanks. Okay, thanks.
I have to look into that.
We'll have to look at it. Okay.
So I mentioned about pre-award scope reviews. It's free. It's optional. We have a team of a review team within each of our GWACs. So we have our small business team out in Kansas City, as well as those in our enterprise GWAC out in San Diego, depending on which when you submit the SAL, which vehicle you want it to be reviewed and so forth. It'll be sent to those particular teams. And we provide a written response, like I mentioned earlier. It says 5 days or less. At least for Alliant 2, I can say we respond within 48 hours, so within 2 days. Small business on that side might be 5 days. Just depends because they're dealing with a lot more smaller task orders and so forth that come through them. So they probably have a lot more SOWs that are being submitted that way. Anyways, you can send your questions over here to, there's the email addresses. If you have VETS2, STARS2, that's where you want to email. If you want to email to Alliant 2, that's the email address as well. So to submit your SOW, it's all done electronically. And there's the URL, GSA.gov, GWAC scope review. And you just follow the instructions of how to go about, and it'll walk you right through it. You may have to, if you've never done it before, and you may have to create an account through OMB Max, but I'm not going to go into details in that, but just go through that. If you have questions, there's a help support too.
And what it is pretty much you want to be prepared to attach, your draft statement of work or something that will help the contracting officer when they're reviewing to determine whether it is a fit or suited for a GWAC. So sometimes, if possible, if you have your IGCE with labor categories, that would also help. Because the important thing is put as much information in there in order for our contracting officer to determine its suitability with a GWAC, with an appropriate GWAC.
Right, and let's say if it turns out it wasn't within scope of that GWAC, most likely you'll get a response and may recommend other vehicles that you can put your requirement through. Helpful tools that I mentioned before, online resources. Again, if you go through our websites for each of our vehicles, you get the full contract copy. You can download the ordering guide. The ceiling prices for T&M labor are out there as well. We also have a very helpful tool called the GWAC dashboard, and I'll go into that in a few slides here, which is a great resource. We also have GSA eBuy, if some of you have used it. This is your online RFQ tool. It tracks everything. It's a great tool. There's other ways to send out your RFQ or RFP or RFI. This one is highly recommended using eBuy, but you can also, under Alliant 2, you can also submit it through an email address that we'll distribute to all our industry partners. But I'm not going to get into that in detail. But anyways, the eBuy, it just ensures everything, it tracks everything for you. Again, you can use it to submit your RFIs and RFQs. Did I miss anything?
I think it's fine.
Okay. We also have our acquisition gateway. I don't know, how many of you visited the acquisition gateway?
Or familiar with it? Okay.
One, two?
Just a couple.
Maybe a few. This is a great, it's a tool that it's available to you. It's available to industry and to our to agencies. If you're government, you probably have more capabilities to search through more of, may have additional access to other information, additional information than you would if you were a contractor. But you can, Solution Finder, you can pull out, there's SOWs or sample SOWs, SUs and so forth out in the library. There are helpful articles that you can use for your market research. There's also, if you're a contracting officer, there's an interactive community there that you can also utilize to speak to others. That would be very helpful. And then assistance with market research. I mentioned the GWAC dashboard. And when I get there to that one slide, I'll provide you a little more capability in what the GWAC dashboard would provide. And then also the capability statement request templates, which is part of the scope review. I don't know if you want to provide information. It's just basically something that you would get in return to put into your folder.
Yeah.
So we have the GWAC dashboard. Now, this is the where to find it. But once you click on to the, So when you click on the dashboard, it will open up to another venue. You don't need to have a unique password. It's open to the public. It's available to everyone. And in there, you'll be able to see who's using our GWACs. You can be able to run a data report and migrate that into a spreadsheet, and you can see all the task orders that have been awarded in each of our GWACs, which is a great marketing tool or market research for you all. Also for industry, in case you're wondering, now who's awarding under Alliant too? And you'll be able to find out the task order, the end date, the value of each of our task orders, what's been obligated to date. All that information is there for you all. Again, I think I've done demos with this before, and when you start playing around, you realize how much information is out there at your fingertips.
And it's also important when you're looking for a similar task order that has been awarded, you can take a look at it. I mean, an example for, if you have some kind of cybersecurity related type of requirement and you just look over that and see, who was it awarded to, or, how many types of cybersecurity requirements that has been awarded. I mean, those are important, and the actual cost, I mean, the total cost for it. It's, again, all this is just it's important when you're doing your market research, IGCE, when you're actually doing, analyzing the prices and all that stuff. Those are really important, especially when you're just looking for similar task order.
Yeah, and it does, you do get a description of what the task orders are. It also provides you with a link directly to FPDS. So that all information will pull up on the data feed.
Will this go all the way to the prices paid tool as well?
It's tied to it. It's tied to our internal contracting or reporting that we do with our industry partners. So all the new orders, all the orders are filtered in to one of our systems, internal systems, that the GWAC dashboard will pull from.
And the reason why I mentioned the prices paid tool is how many of you guys create an independent estimate, for a task order, the IGCE? Okay, so what it is the prices paid tool for each of the labor categories is already there, and that will help when you're creating. I don't know about you, I used to do that, and we didn't have this prices paid tool, and I have to go all over the website just to look for a comparable, whatever, for, let's say, a programmer. But this one already gives you that prices paid tool that prices paid that you can use to plug into your IGCE. So, very important for me.
And for the prices paid is only open for government, in case you were wondering. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so wait. Oh yeah. So we talked about what a GWAC is. So now I'm just going to go over those GWACs. So we have the 2 small business, and we got the 1 large, which is Alliant 2. So we'll start with 8A STARS. Now 8A STARS 2 has 4 functional areas. Those are actually derived from the NAICS code. And we do have the 2 constellations, and the first constellation has the same technical proficiency, competitive pricing, but that's Constellation 1. So Constellation 2 actually has the technical proficiency as well as the competitive pricing, but it adds your special credentials, which is your CMMI and the ISO requirement. Program ceiling for this 8A STARS is $12 billion, and we are currently on the first option year, and it will end in August 30th of 2021.
Doesn't mean the second option year.
I'm sorry, the first option year. No,
you're right.
Because it's only based on option.
I'm sorry.
Is it this one?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll click. There you go.
Okay, so the ordering period. Okay, I mentioned that it ends in August 30th of 2021. However, if you issue a task order before August 30th of 2021, it may extend 3 years beyond that. So it will be up to August 30th of 2024. So if you were to, let's say you have a 5-year base and 4 years, and you award it right now, it's okay because but on August 30th of 2024, which is the last day, that's it. Task order has to be completed, no more extension after that. Okay. Now on 8A stars, it's fixed price, T&M, and labor hours, no cost reimbursement. Okay. The GWAC contracting officer is the one that's actually monitoring the compliance of the subcontracting at the master level contract. Okay. More features of the 8A stars, and I mentioned this earlier, you have access to those vendors who holds that specific credentials. Okay, so it's actually Constellation 2. Okay, Constellation 1 does not have those credentials, but they do have the same technical proficiency. Socioeconomic credit in order for you to meet that socioeconomic goals. You can do a sole source up to $4 million, and you don't need an acceptance from the SBA. Okay, you have access to 800 highly qualified contractors, but doesn't mean that you are going to get the 800 proposals, because the average proposals is only 5.2. And that's really good because that gives you enough competition in order to make the right selection of the vendors.
Yeah, I think on DoD they like to see an average around 4 plus. I do know.
Right.
DoD.
So you at least need 3.
At least.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Okay, so VETS2 is another one of our small business, and this is what is this? A service-disabled, veteran-owned small business set aside, and it is the only one in the federal marketplace. It is a multiple award IDIQ. It has 70 contract awardees. It's got a single scope, so you don't need, for this one, no functional areas or pools required. Mm-hmm. There is a $5 billion program ceiling on this one. Okay, so this was just awarded last year, so we're still in the base period. So this is a total of 10-year period of performance. On VETS2, compared to VETS1, the one that expired, this one now has cost reimbursement. So it encompasses all contract types now: fixed, cost, T&M, and labor hours. So again, cost reimbursement is new to VETS2. Okay, VETS2 is best in class, and well, that's all GWACs anyway. You do get that service-disabled, veteran-owned small business credit. We do have the standardized IT labor categories on VETS2, worldwide geographic coverage, just like as I mentioned earlier under the GWACs, and you do have the, again, the highly qualified contractors that has gone through the source selection. So now Alliant 2, did you want to cover Alliant 2?
Yeah, I'll do Alliant 2. One thing also, again, just like on any of our GWACs, in case you're not, let's say, a VETS2 or STARS 2 or Alliant 2 vendor, industry partner, you can always team up with them, with any of our GWACs or any of our vendors.
Any of our vendors you can, yes.
So Alliant 2 contract, it provides a total integrated IT solutions and support services capable of addressing ever-evolving technology and business needs worldwide scale. It includes all auxiliary support supplies construction, I'm going to quote that, that are integral, and as long as it's integral and necessary to your total solution, integrated solution. So it can include construction. I'm not saying huge construction, but it just depends.
Well, it's like what it is ancillary support, okay? It could be non-IT, right? But it has to be indirect support. Just want to clear that to you guys, that it has to be indirect support of the main objective of the requirement. Okay? I always want to kind of clarify that.
So, and it supports all current leading edge and emerging IT services, if you're familiar with FEA, Federal...
the Federal Enterprise Architecture. We're not going to discuss it in detail, but what it is what may not, the technology that may not available now, but don't worry, those technology that will be available
in the future
will be included without having to do any kind of technical refresh or any kind of approval required.
Right. And you know how it's evolving. Tomorrow will be something new. I mean, right now it does include artificial intelligence, cyber, all that, all those hot,
Right.
You see it, but it'll continue evolving and it'll include everything. And of course, our philosophy, anything IT services anywhere. We've been saying that under Alliant 1, and now we're saying it under Alliant 2, of course. So the period of performance, Alliant 2 has just completed its first contract year. We awarded last year, and it's going to go out. We're in the base period for 5 years, and then it'll be the next option period, another 5 years. So total 10 years until 2028. Again, you can team up with any of our vendors. They're listed on our website. We have 53 vendors, industry partners. We have a ceiling of $50 billion. After the first contract year, right now we're around $3.5 billion of estimated value. That's pretty good. Under Alliant 1, I want to share with you, it was a 10-year contract, and we're at $45 billion. We're getting close to reaching that ceiling of $5 billion, but we still got a lot of cushion there. Of course, it expired in April of this year. But if you're wondering again, it's still an active GWAC. We have a lot of active task orders there. And again, our dashboard can give you that. We have like over 700 task orders under Alliant 1. And someone coming in. It's been a very successful vehicle, which we've made some improvements that we'll get into on the Alliant 2 vehicle, but we also project that it'll continue to be as successful as Alliant 1. And of course, it's best in class. I know we probably already discussed this, but for contract types, it covers all, including hybrids. I don't know how we're doing on time.
You're doing good.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay. What's new? So some of you may have questions about what's going on with Alliant 2 Small Business. There's nothing much more I can say about it other than we're awaiting notice to proceed. I highly recommend that you go on our website, so the GSA.gov /A2SB. On that front page, it'll give you if you have questions, you can be able to email. There's an email address there that you'll be able to send your questions to. So I have no time frame. I have nothing else. I'm not part of the Small Business GWAC, but I know that if you have questions, you can certainly submit your questions. Alliant 2 is now a best-in-class. That was just recently added. Mm-hmm. So now all our GWACs are best-in-class. Alliant, 80 Stars 3 planning is underway right now. In fact, for some of you who might be interested, the draft solicitation was just issued last week through FedBiz Ops, and it's open for comment until September 6th. So again, highly recommend if you're a small business 8A set aside, if you want to get involved, this is the right time to do it. One thing that's new under Alliant 2 is customers can now get subcontracting credit, and this is really new. In fact, we're in the process of right now providing training to our industry partners, our 53 primes, to provide them steps in how we're going to go about educating everyone and how we're going to do that, or how they can talk to their customers and how they can be able to get that credit. So we're going to be working with them in the next month or two. So that's a great thing, because under Alliant 1, they didn't get that credit. And now in Alliant 2, you can. The other thing that's new under Alliant 2, our vendors are being measured for participation to meet customer competition requirements. So one of the things, now under Alliant 1, our average was 3, just a little over 3 on the proposal that were submitted. Well, we're trying to increase that under Alliant 2. And one of we're being holding them to is that they need to participate. They need to submit their bids. They need to get awards in order for them to continue to be under Alliant 2. And they're going to be measured every contract year. So it's it's great, because maybe in the future, I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime, like maybe by the 5th year, there's a chance that we may have an on-ramp for businesses. But that's maybe. We may have enough that we're doing good, and we may not have to do that. So that's down the future right now. So, but they're stepping up. We're seeing a lot of competition. I don't have the averages for the first contract year as of yet. I should in about another month, but we're looking good so far. But they have to report to us where they're bidding, when they're bidding, who they're bidding, and so forth. And that's something we're holding them, and they're reporting to us. So there's a lot of tracking going on, and that's part of my side of having to do that. Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay. So we're going to Schedule 70. I'm going to get your notes out. Go.
Okay, so, all right, so we're done with the GWAC. We're now just moving on to the Schedule 70. Okay, so you know that Schedule 70 is available to all federal agencies, state and local, and tribal governments. There is a best in class designation, but just know that it's only hardware and software. Okay, the ordering procedure is 8.4. GWACs, we were talking about 16.5. So this one is 8.4. So just wanted to know the difference there. Agencies can procure all these IT commercial products and services, cloud IT, computer and networking, systems life cycle, specialized cyber, data centers, satellite services, software, applications, and wireless mobility. 80% of all contracts are held by small business, okay? So know that you will get, chances are you will get your socioeconomic goals on that one. And BPA, under Schedule 70, you can establish a BPA. Okay, so this is the Schedule 70 structure, and these are the subcategories listed under the IT Schedule 70. So you got hardware, you got software, services, telecom, and IT services. And what I'm going to mention, and again, this SINs that are listed here will help you determine which SINs to use, okay, within the subcategory. And I wanted to mention that we've expanded our cloud special item, which is 132-40, and that includes now the cloud-related IT professional services, okay? And they include the labor categories and services that is required to assess, prepare, mitigate, and integrate, okay? Another one I wanted to mention is the 132-45, that is your cybersecurity SIN. Everything is included in there now. Okay, it used to be separated into A, B, C, D. Now it's all in 132-45 for ease of use. Okay. Another one I wanted to mention here is the 132-100, and those are your known items that can be priced up front for a total solution. Again, that can be priced up front. So that means it's the known items. The order level materials, on the other hand, are your unknown supplies and services, and they are in direct support of your individual task order for total solutions. Okay? And I think on the next page we're going to discuss a little bit more about the OLMs. Okay, so again, I mentioned that you can establish a BPA under Schedule 70. Okay? Because these are for your recurring needs, right? You're not really obligating funds, you're just creating the BPA. You obligate funds when you have a task order that you are going to be, or a BPA order that you're going to be issuing against it. Okay, with using the BPA, you are taking advantage of the quantity discounts. Okay, and again, saves administrative work and it reduces the paperwork. And it permits the consolidation, so you can do it with, if you're consolidating something agency-wide or multi-agency requirements, you can establish a BPA for that. Okay, we have an existing IT schedule, just so you don't have to create your own BPA. We do have one that's available for your use now, and it's the software purchase agreement. I remember this as just a smart buy, but it's no longer smart buy. It's called the software purchase agreement. We got the Advantage Select Single Award. That's for hardware. And by the way, that's and what I remember that to be is that it's a single award. It is you don't need any further competition. It's for rugged laptops and I'm not sure is it laptops and tablets. Okay. So anything that you're just looking for those rugged laptops and tablets, take advantage of this. It's already awarded. All you have to do is issue the task order. And, of course, you've heard of probably the GSS desktop and laptops. Okay. Let's see, the fast lane. Okay, this on the fast lane, this is like if you have emerging technology that may not necessarily be included, that for new offers like that, we can have it added into 30 to 40 to 45 days for those IT Schedule 70 that are not in, for those vendors that are not in IT Schedule 70. And if you're just doing a modifications to add those emerging technologies, it's just a contract modification, and it should be approved within 48 hours. Okay? I mentioned order level materials earlier, the previous slide. Okay, that's a great thing because it does allow you to do the total solution, again, in direct support of your requirement, services or materials. But you are only, I should not say only, you are allowed up to 33.33% of the total value of the requirement. Okay, so 33.3%. Okay. A subcontracting update. Again, your agencies can receive credit on the socioeconomic goals because when you're actually using IT 70, you can actually just do, you can just, filter it into just socioeconomic if that's all you want. Okay. Makes it easier for you so that you know that you're going to get the socioeconomic, just filter it to the socioeconomic vendors. Okay? Let's see. Okay, this, we've discussed most of this really, so this is just your visual summary of what we have already discussed, and I can just go over it a little bit. You got the first three here is your GWACs. You got the large and the two small business and IT Schedule 70. This is the website. Okay. The ceiling contract. We've discussed this already, but as you can see the difference here: $50 billion for Alliant 2, $12 billion for STARS, $5 billion for VETS, and Schedule 70 really has no ceiling. The key features, they're all best in class, and the only difference is in IT Schedule 70, it is only for hardware and software sense. Okay. On 8A stars, you can do a direct buy, again, sole source, up to $4 million. And we mentioned about the Constellation 2, where you can actually have that credentials and still have the same technical proficiency as Constellation 1. Okay. VETS2, and I mentioned this too, that they are, VETS2 is the only service-disabled veteran-owned business in the federal marketplace. Okay.
Sorry.
The awardees, which is, okay, that's fine. Awardees, we mentioned 53. 8A stars can go 787, 800. It just kind of depends, fluctuates.
Yeah.
VETS2 is at 70. And IT 70 could be, it says 4,600 here, but it could be up to 5,000 contractors available there.
We also have a brochure here at the table that encompasses all our contracts within GSA that you can certainly pick up. We also have a booth, booth number 713, that will have those brochures as well as the individual contracts. Feel free to visit there and you get additional information. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, so more key features. They're all pre-compete. Okay, so the GWACs are pre-competed. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to go through this, start from scratch because it's already all fully competed. Under 16.5 for the GWACs or 16.505 with Schedule 70, you do have it's under the FAR 8.4. Okay. Limited protestability for the GWACs, that's under $10 million. But in Schedule 70, it is subject to protest. Okay. Integrated solutions for all the three GWACs, meaning even if it's non-IT, but if it's in direct support and of that requirement or that objective, and it's IT, it is allowed. Okay. And it says here, ancillary service as long as it's necessary for the contract or for the requirement. Now with IT Schedule 70, you have you have the ability to establish the BPAs. You can do CTAs, which is contractor team arrangement, and you can, like I said, you can also do a small business set-asides if that's what you want. The task order types, Alliant 2, VETS 2, it encompasses all the contract types. 8A stars and IT Schedule 70 know that they cannot have cost reimbursement. Okay. The NAICS code so with Alliant 2, its primary NAICS code is 541512, but it's not limited to this. It's really depending on the requirement or the objective. 8A stars, those FA1, those are functional areas. Those are derived from the NAICS code. With VETS 2, it's again, that's only the primary. Primary NAICS code is 541512. And Schedule 70, as everybody knows, there's multiple NAICS code. You just have to refer to the SINs under that particular contract. Now, just know that we're doing this comparison. I think we're done with the comparison. Right? We're done with this comparison. This is, if you're, I'm sorry, I'm not even done yet. But anyway, just so you know that you want, it's everything for your appropriate vehicle. Okay, when you're selecting the most appropriate vehicle, sure, you can look at all this guide. But again, it is really based on your requirement. So just be sure that it's on your requirement. Market research, market research, market research, market research. Those are what will determine the best appropriate vehicle. This is just a tool, a guide for you to look at. Okay? We went over this, the period of performance for Alliant 2 being 10 years. We're still on our base year. 80 stars, we're in option 1 already. VETS 2, we're still on our base period of performance. Schedule 70 has 20 years. So the expiration actually varies by agreement. So you want to be able to check that, check the vendors. The fee. All across the board, it's 0.75%, okay, of the billed amount. Place of performance, global.
Now, we do have a CAF cap under Alliant too, because we have a lot of large task orders. I mean, we've got, definitely over $20 million efforts out there, up to almost, actually we have $1 billion effort as well under Alliant too. So we do offer for those large task orders a CAF cap of $150,000 per year for direct orders, and $100K per year under GSA. So if they're using our assisted acquisition within GSA, there's a cap of $100K. 150, you're looking at a $20 million effort.
Yeah, it's 20. And it's only per year.
Yes,
okay?
per year.
So you have to actually have a billed invoice for $20 million to cap it at $150,000.
And at the PMO level where I'm at, we do monitor that. So when they reach that CAF cap, we know where it's at, and we monitor all that. So it's something that it doesn't get missed. We're tracking that internally as well.
Is anybody here familiar with our assisted acquisition, or anybody who wants to know more about the assisted acquisition? Okay, that's a no.
All right, I'm going to move on.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
anyway, this is just now the resources that we have for small business. I mean, anything that you want, all is in here. Are they going to get this?
I would assume that's going to be posted, our slides. Yeah, but if you need to reach me, if you have questions regarding Alliant 2, or even a small business, I can direct you to the right people as well. You can reach me at jennifer.jeans, like blue jeans, JEANS, @gsa.gov.
Okay.
Yep. Any questions?
I think that's it. Any
Yeah, one.
questions?
So we've heard about an upcoming consolidation of schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that?
Okay, I can speak a little bit about it. So there will be no more IT Schedule 70. It will be more of SINs. So you're going to be looking at SINs. So for example, okay, let's just say IT 70, it's IT, right? So you're just going to go directly to those SINs. So if it's 132-40, 130, you are just going to be using that 132-40. And I think what's you know more about that, because I think.
So it's just what she said. So right now, when you go to eBuy or when you go to look at a GSA schedule, you'll see 84, then you'll see the SIN. So you'll no longer see that 84. So it's almost, you'll be looking at the same thing you currently look at now, except it'll be compartmentalized, segmented by different platforms now, or different portfolios. So your SINs will be organized. So you'll see your cyber SINs, and you'll just reach in and grab that SIN in, as opposed to having a 3-tier system. Now it's just going directly to that SIN by category.
So there's not going to be a consolidation of different schedules together, like PSS or IT 70 or...
Well, in essence, it's all going to be consolidated. So it won't be, any more of these multi schedules. It will be one schedule with different SINs under that schedule.
I think it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, it definitely makes it a lot easier.
I think it's confusing now.
The 11 series right now is looking and they say, hey, listen, I need cyber security for law enforcement, and it may have some ancillary services. In their mind, they think, do I go to 84? Do I go to Schedule 70?
Right.
Or what do I go to GWAC? Now under this, it'll just automatically drive them right to that SIN, as opposed to having to go GWAC, the schedule, understand what part of the FAR. So it does streamline the market research process for you.
Yes.
So are the SINs specific to each schedule contract? Like, for example, 132-8 on IT Schedule 70 is purchase of new equipment. If you were on Schedule 84, is it still 132-8?
That's how I understand it. You are gonna, yes, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay, but isn't that going to provide a whole bunch more for them to sort through? Because then if you're trying to purchase new equipment, now you're not going to be able to just go to your IT stuff. You're going to have to go through you're going to have to go through.
No, because right now those SINs are still compartmentalized based off of the need and the necessity of the item. So if you know that SIN will change, you'll just be all in one area.
Okay.
But Dale, what if it's more than one SIN that so you just add, so you just have to add whatever other SINs there
Yes.
may be. Okay, so you just add the SINs to whatever that you need to make it a full total solution or whatever, depending on your requirement.
And it's still and there's a great video on YouTube about this that just went out. I think it was yesterday it came out, and I was looking for it on my phone just now.
So we should pull it up. Do we have Wi-Fi here, or do we have internet? Oh, that's all right.
It goes right to that question: is how do you tap into multiple different SINs? That category. The video is really good.
Does it talk about duration and when this will take place? It does.
Just got announced by our central office
Yesterday. All right. I was on travel yesterday, so I don't. I was traveling here.
I think it will. I really think it will make it a lot easier now.
So more to come.
More to come.
More to come. Any other questions?
I do have one thing. I noticed this. People always avoid saying yes or no whether I know this, but she mentioned AAS. Are you familiar with AAS?
Yeah, I went into
Assisted acquisition.
And how that helps you. So let me give you an example. So if Colonel Brenda Jones is over here and says, "Hey, listen, I guess this room is mixed between military and vendors, but I'll give this scenario for example for both is that Colonel Becky Jones is over here and says, "Hey, listen, it's the end of the year. I've got a $10 million contract. I want to use your company to do this." Well, she calls up her MIC or her mission installation commander or contract office, and they say, "Can't do it right now because we're behind 6 months. I'm sorry, can't do it." And you say to her, for you as the vendor, you're like, well, you as the vendor, as well as the end user, need to understand that what AES is, the Assistant Acquisition Services. We are an FTE. We're a contracting arm that will do this contract trailer grade for you. But again, there's a caveat. We still need permission from your big, and a lot of times they won't give that because they don't have the ability to do that. So you as a vendor, you as a military or DoD or civilian agency, you need to understand that AES is here to support you. So a lot of FTEs have been cut, whether it's EPA, whether it's Homeland Security or whatever. And so we're here to support you with our acquisition services. So you can just call us and say, "Hey, listen, as that DoD, that director of contracts, you can say, "Hey, Dale," or whoever my counterpart is in this market, it's the end of the year. It's fourth quarter. I only have 4 people in my shop. Can you do this for us? Yes. No. On that, there is a fee associated with that. So that fee is going to be based off the total dollar threshold of that entire contract. Now, a second fee for service option you have, if it's on that tangible object on that commodity side, is SOP, Special Order Program. A little bit different, lower fee. But the key takeaway from here is don't let, if you are on a GSA schedule and you have the means to support your end user and the end of the year is about to crush them, a lot of times they're willing to pay that fee because guess what? If they don't use that money, they lose it. So they are, and that fee again isn't set in stone. It isn't a hard fee. It can be as low as 1%. It could be sometimes 6%. But it's just something that stick in the back of your mind. If you're talking to DoD or you're a DoD customer and you need this money spent by the end of the year. So.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I do have a few brochures. Anyone interested? I can certainly pass them out. Great. Go over here. And again, we have more brochures at our booth at booth 713. You're welcome. I only had a few of these here. I have one last one. There you go. Sorry, I didn't get the other side. But again, booth 713, we've got more, and we have other additional. If you want to know about AAS, there's brochures there as well at the booth. Thank you so much. Yes.
I think it's always information, but people.
Hi.
Send these slides.
Yes, I believe you were supposed to be sending those to
Where are you located at?
You know what? We should do that.
Okay, just shoot me an email and I will send them a simple guidelines. Yeah. Yeah. So and so you can do and now at the end of the year you can do that direct award.
I think
Yeah, that's $1 million. So what happens is that colonel sometimes doesn't realize that because we give the DOD for switch credit, give her their job mission is not to understand. Yeah, so the cores don't even do that. So yeah, so we'll educate them on that.
Yes, yes. Yes, again, you should see that you're going to query with the dashboard. You'll see all the entities. I do bureaus at that level.
Annually starting from FY20 through 27 modulator, spending lots of money through NASA. There are acquisition and fit out work.
So do you have a meeting with our GWACs tomorrow by any chance? Because
what happened
my
is that
program manager, the warranty program manager, actually
it was the end of the year last year.
tomorrow.
Really?
They talk about how they